What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Tottenham v Chelsea preview. Yeah, probably going to be a short one since I am sick and I have COVID for the second time. But we're going to preview this game nonetheless. It's been more than a week since the last Chelsea game. Really disappointing loss to Southampton. The team had like 2 or 3 days off with no training, and then Graham Potter was getting absolutely destroyed on social media. Not just fans, but a bunch of pundits who I give no credit to. Like when people like Gabriel Ogbonlahor and Jamie O'Hara are telling you to do something, that's when you know it's the wrong decision, in my opinion. You shouldn't let mid players who didn't win nothing in their time and who talk bullshit dictate what you do. But yeah, I just felt like I needed to say that. There was some report today that some people gave Graham Potter death threats or something. I mean, that happens to everybody. I'm pretty sure that happens to everybody. That happened to Steven Gerrard when he was going to join Chelsea too. Those people aren't really fans. They're just idiots, to be fair. But we're here to talk about the game. Let's talk about Chelsea v Tottenham. Obviously, Chelsea on a poor run of form. Tottenham are kind of the most yo-yo team around. Like 1 week they beat Man City, then they'll go and lose. I remember they lost to AC Milan in the Champions League, and then they went and beat West Ham, obviously a team that Chelsea couldn't beat. So they are a very interesting team on their form. I will say that. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they are dreadful. I think that's just due to them not having too many very good players. In terms of Chelsea, though, I think almost every player is fit, obviously, except Azpilicueta and N'Golo Kante, right? Apart from that, pretty much every first-team player is getting back to full availability, which is good for us. And now for me, it's all about finding that consistent lineup. Like when you talk about what Chelsea need to do. It's about finding a consistent formation, a consistent team that plays every week, and consistent patterns of plays they can go to win games. Because I've seen a few people say that Chelsea look very good. I mean, the XG, which if you look into that, Chelsea's XG is always higher than their opponents. It's just they don't score. And in the recent few months, it's literally been the ball goes everywhere except the back of the net. One goal in February. People say Real Madrid have scored more goals in England in 2023 than Chelsea have, because they scored 5 against Liverpool. So for me, this is a big game for Chelsea. They have to prove that they can actually win a game. And who better to do it against than Tottenham? You know what I mean? Chelsea haven't lost at this ground. In fact, they've only conceded 1 goal at this ground, and that was in a cup game. So in the league, they haven't conceded. Would I put it past these guys to break a record and lose? No. But I think it's a good game to turn it around. It's not like Tottenham are super good. You know what I mean? It's not like they're flying. They're inconsistent. They're inconsistent at best. I think their defense is really poor. Obviously, they have Fraser Forster's going to be playing in goal. They've just lost Bentancur to a long-term injury. Son is off form. So we have all the chances in the world to win this game. Now, we're going to get straight into the team because I think that's important to talk about. It's also interesting to see what kind of formation that we go with in this game. Now, we go with the typical 4-2-3-1 we've been playing? Will we maybe switch to match Tottenham with a 5-back? Because the best players in our team in recent times have been our centre backs. Thiago Silva, Badia Shil, and Fofana came on against Southampton, and they looked pretty good. And I also think when we go to that 3 at the back, it lets Chilwell and Reece James not have to worry too much about defending, because Chilwell defensively is still shaky. And I think the best way to utilize them is to let them go forward and do their best. This is the team I've gone with for this game. I've gone with the 4 at the back. I just think I don't see us having enough attacking with 3 players to go forward. I've gone with Kepa in goal, obviously. I think Kepa's locked down that #1 spot, at least for the rest of the season. We'll see what happens in summer. It seems like some people think we need a new goalkeeper. Others are saying Kepa's good enough. I still think Kepa is good enough. I would stay with him at least next season. And if it's not working out, maybe go for someone else. I just don't see there being another goalkeeper that's good enough to replace him. And for me, Mendy just has fallen off a cliff in terms of his form, and he's obviously injured as well. Reece James at right back, no brainer. He's got to start. You don't rest him against Southampton not to start him here. Same with Thiago Silva. He's got to play. I thought about putting Fofana here and going like this, but I just think beat Tottenham, we can play this way. Badia Chiles looks really solid with Thiago Silva next to him, so I've gone there. I just wouldn't play Koulibaly, even though he did score in a reverse fixture. I would put Chilwell on the left. I just think, again, Cucurella's inconsistent. Lewis Hall has been out of favour, so I think Ben Chilwell, while defensively he is a bit shaky, and I think Kulusevski going at him will be a problem, especially if Mudryk doesn't help him going backwards. I just think Ben Chilwell going forwards is a lot more of a threat than Cucurella. In terms of midfield, Enzo Fernandez is always going to play. I've gone for Zakaria. The reason is Tottenham's midfield is quite bare, right? They play a similar style to what we played last under Tuchel, where they have 2 central midfielders. Oliver Skip, I don't rate him at all. He's not really good at anything. He's a right passer of the ball. Højbjerg, again, this is not the most physical midfield. And I think, though, if you put Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez, then somehow Chelsea's midfield is less physical than Tottenham's, and we can't have that. And I think without Kante being available, Zakaria is the most physical midfielder we have. He's like over 6 foot. He's strong. He's good in the tackle. I just think this is a much more balanced central midfield partnership than anyone else. Maybe Ruben Loftus-Cheek will play because of his physicality as well. But I just think this is the two I would go with. In terms of the front four, I've gone for Mudryk on the left. I just think you don't pay that much money not to play him. Yes, he's been poor, but his fitness hasn't been there. I think you need to give him support. And I think playing him against someone like Emerson Royale, right? And Romero is very rash. So Romero is probably going to try and take on João Felix, or they'll give him that role where he tries to nullify João Felix. I just think there'll be enough space for Mudryk to run in and give Emerson Royale a lot of problems because Emerson Royale is not good. Then you have João Felix playing in that number 10 role, where I think that's his best position. I think he's been pretty good in majority of the minutes he's played. Sometimes he does disappear from games, but I think a lot of the time in games when he's told to go out to play on the left or he's moves around, that's where he's least effective. In terms of the right wing, of course we could go Madueke, Hakim Ziyech, but I think Raheem Sterling against Southampton, he came on, he made a difference, he could have scored a hat-trick. I just think Raheem Sterling has a bit more end product than some of these other guys. As long as he's direct and he doesn't hold the ball too much, he is always going to be a goal threat. The guy scored over 100 Premier League goals. He has had a few injury problems, but I think this is the type of game where you get Raheem Sterling in the right position, he can score you a goal. Up front, I've gone with Kai Havertz. I just think that David Datra Fofana, I heard he played well in that first half. I just don't see him getting minutes from Graham Potter at this stage. I just feel like Chelsea would have loaned him out if it was possible and he didn't have that rule where he couldn't play for another European club. There's obviously a question whether Aubameyang should maybe get some minutes in this team considering the finishing ability. I know a lot of Chelsea fans don't rate Aubameyang. Most of us didn't want Aubameyang. And now a lot of people seem to be on this road of why not give him a chance? Why have we frozen him out? But before that it was, oh, he's not good enough. He's done this. He never does anything when he gets on the pitch. And I think if Aubameyang plays and he does badly, then people will criticise him. I think Kai Havertz will start. Would I give Fofana or Aubameyang a shot? Why not? I just think it can't go any worse than it has been already in terms of goal scoring. In terms of Tottenham setup, we already know how they're going to set up. This is their setup from the last game. Obviously, Son could easily play over Richarlison. They've got quite an active front line where they're going to try and press. They're going to get into us. And they're obviously going to look to counter, regardless of them being the home team. We saw against Man City. They just look for counter-attack opportunities. They try and defend well. But when you have players like Dyer, Longley, Skip, Davies, Royale, there's always a chance you fuck up. Forster's not a good goalkeeper either, in my opinion. I think this is a game where Chelsea could win it. I think we've been very close to winning games. We just haven't been winning, but we've been playing well enough. This is the game to win for me. In terms of a score prediction, I could see this game being 2-0 to Chelsea in one universe, 2-0 to Tottenham in another universe. For me, this is going to be similar to the game we played in August, which was a 2-2. Chelsea were the better team, and somehow Tottenham managed to get the result in the 2-2. I could see us going 1-0 up. I think if we concede early, it's a big problem. But I could see us going 1-0 up in this game, and then Tottenham not being in the game and still getting a goal, and it finishing 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1. I hope Chelsea win, obviously, but with this team, you can't expect good results. I'm sorry. I'm not going to start expecting wins until we get a few. I predicted a win in every game I've done a preview for, and we've won none of them. So I'm going to go 1-1 in this game. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.